Hello guys. Today we are going to talk about part two of Batman: The Long Halloween. This one where everything comes into fruition for this. This one came out same year, 2021. It's rated R. This one's rated R. The first one was rated PG-13. It's kind of interesting they bumped up the rating for this one. Um, it's an hour 27 long. It has 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb with 13,000 ish user votes. Directed by the same guy, stars the same people. So if you want to know more about those guys, watch part one. Rotten Tomatoes, the movie has 100% by critics with 13 critics and 82% by audience people, about 250-ish audience people. Okay. And it's available to stream on HBO Max, and also you can rent and buy it on Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon, YouTube, Microsoft Store, Redbox, DirecTV. And it was released on DVD in 2021 as well, same year kind of thing as part one. All right, part two. This is when things get a little bit crazy. So I will say it opens it kind of the opening throws you off slightly because immediately you're thrown into like what the fuck happened. That's my only real thing with it. If this was one movie, it wouldn't feel too off. But opening up with it like it was kind of felt a little. It threw me off a little bit, but it's not bad. But it threw me off a little bit. But but yeah, the movie you really sense like the down, and then it happens, and it's just like the downfall of Dent into like becoming Two Face. That's not a spoiler. It's in the poster. It's gonna happen, but it happens like greatly. And by the end, when everything is revealed, I will say this mystery. I mean, I guess the result of it. I guess it crossed my mind maybe very very briefly once or twice, but not to the point where I was literally like, okay, this is gonna happen. I know it's happening, whatever. It was like, oh wow, this is like they did a good job of making it seem like it was a specific person. They really do a good job of that, and this is a really good mystery. I will say, like a lot of the positives of the whole thing, you really see them in part two because part one. Like it's the build up and the setup a little bit. I mean, shit happens. Like there is stuff that happens that is more exclusive to part one, but you see it continuously. In this one, you also really see the expansiveness of Batman's work because you get to see a little bit more of his rogues. You get to see them a little bit more visibly. It's really just like it's a really good, solid like ending to this story, and it really shows like because this whole story takes place in over the course of a year, roughly, and it really shows how much can happen in a year, and it really shows like how big of a deal like like how much Batman like goes through in a year, and it really puts in perspective like how much Batman takes on in such a time span. Because if you think about it, if this is a whole year, imagine like 3, 5, 10, and this kind of stuff. It really puts in perspective like how much Batman does. Because a lot of times when you see a Batman movie or stuff, it's a specific adventure. Like it's not often you see like the 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 timeline of Batman put in perspective like that, and it's really interesting to see. Even though in this, and I will say like, and this is one of the few Batman movies where I think it does a good job showing growth without shoving down your throat. Like, look at him, he's growing, he's growing. Like, I feel like this one does a good job of showing like Batman growing in a way that feels justified and reasonable, and that's something that comes across as like trying to like have a message for the sake of having a message. And in the way it grows, it's very subtle, but it's more in a way that just kind of makes it feel like he's become a more prepared hero, if that makes any sense. A more like well-rounded version of what he was prior to that year. And I will say this whole two-part, there is little bouts of humor spread there and there that do kind of elevate things, and And here's the thing, like, and this I always defend this to the day I die. It's like like comedy is okay to use in any genre because the humor elements of the characters gives them character, and it kind of helps crescendo the tone of the film, so it's not just all one and flat. It kind of makes things elevate a little bit and kind of makes you feel the stuff more because it diversifies itself. um but yeah, this whole this part two better than part one? I feel like the big shit happens in part two. This is a very new like thing. Like it's only been out for like a year ish, so there's not like for a animated like duology like this. There's not a ton of stuff right now, so it's kind of hard to have a defined like voice or opinion on the whole thing. But even though, but it's easy to say that's positive. But the specific little details that people may like over stuff or hate over stuff, it's not really there yet. But for my thing, the only thing I think might benefited this more is that it's kind of weird. I think the one thing that could have benefited this more if it wasn't a two part, if it was one complete 2.5 hour film, roughly. I think that would have benefited it a little bit more. But that's just me. But it doesn't hurt the overall product at all with it. It's still really solid. It's probably one of my and I think it's one of my favorite because this one feels like so much effort was put into it. Like it felt like this. It felt like you have all these Batman animated stuff, and they're good, but the way they're promoted and shown makes it look like such a B trash like Walmart pickup. And then you got something like this in like Dark Knight Returns, or hell, I'll even throw in Gotham by Gaslight by it just because of like that one was good too. Of like you could tell that like they legit wanted to like bring this to life hard. And like the other stuff, they treat it more like long like TV series episodes. And they're good too. And they're not bad either, but you can tell the difference. You can tell like they legit wanted to bring it. And then they got some misfires like the Killing Joke and Batman and Harley Quinn that there's elements there that are great, but they were pushed too far one direction or the other, and it just didn't quite work. But yeah, overall, this is like really good, like really, really solid. I like it's the same positive as the last one. Like the animation's great, acting, story, and it's just there's just nothing really bad about it. You know, I mean, like at all. Like I legit enjoy this one. The only thing I wish was I will say though I do like the specific world of Batman. I love like these specific vocal like performances, the styles, and I love everything in this world. I wish I could see more adventures in this world. That's the only thing about the animated stuff that could be throw some people off a little bit, that they get attached to specific styles and performances of the specific movies, and they kind of want to see like specific stories covered with those characters' world and designs. And it doesn't always, and pretty much a good chunk of time it doesn't happen like that. I mean, granted, they pull it off and it's still good, but there's just part of you that's just like, man, I wish these kind of characters did these kind of stuff. I kind of want to see that. And yeah, that's kind of a thing there, but I think that's why they get the vocal talent and the talent they do is because they do promise that hey, you don't have to commit all the way like all time to this if you don't want to. You can do it in certain ways and you'll be fine. And and I think that's why they get a lot of times they get like I remember the Crisis on Two Earths story, and they got some really big names for that. But it's weird because I don't remember seeing those names again in any other product, and that's I think the biggest reason why is because those names is the promise was that it was not a lot, you know. Like I think that's a big attractor to the big names too, is that hey, you're not gonna have to do that much. So it's kind of one of those things. But overall, this duology, this two-parter, the Long Halloween. Like, I really recommend this. If you're a Batman fan, definitely. If you love DC stuff, yes. If you love animated stuff, yes. Even if you're just looking for something good to watch, this two-parter's really solid. I mean, it does. It would have. I will say, like, seeing this live action would be awesome, but I think as is, I try not. There's some people out there. This is a very big side note, but there's some people out there that see animation as a step down from live action, like live action's top tier of animation, and I don't agree with that. I think animation and action are an apple and orange. I think they're on par, and I think they're two different things. I think the reason why live action some people go for live action over animation is because live action is there. It's real. Animation is more of an art. I mean, both are art, but animation's definitely more like you're. It's more of a trip. Action, like live action's more like, ooh, it's actually here. It's weird it's weird to describe. But yeah. But I will say this about the animated DC stuff. More times than not, I mean, the newer stuff, I've noticed the newer stuff have taken one or two more liberties with things than the older stuff. But for the most part, they're pretty loyal adaptations. Like the Hollywood live action stuff, they don't. A lot of times they don't do that. They do a lot of changes in live action. I can see that rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. Now I don't know if the Long Halloween does any of those changes, but for the most part, it feels like a good, legit, solid adaptation with minimal to no changes to the source material, as far as I can tell. I mean, if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, of course. Um, but yeah, guys, pretty solid. I do enjoy part two and part one, of course, as well. And yeah, thanks for watching. In case you want to chat with anyone at the Campy Company and you don't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the About page / About section of our channel. We also have a community tab on our channel as well. You can access that anywhere at any time. We also have a Patreon page. The main goal of the page is to raise money for the channel, to give the channel a bigger budget to do more ambitious things, and also to start making merchandise for the channel as well. And the merchandise itself will be geared toward aspects of the channel that you guys enjoy. So any support we get for that is much appreciated. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.